Hey, it's Wayne Bennett with Cat 5 Hurricane Screens on a do-it-yourselfer job. We're super excited about having you guys here and helping you save thousands of dollars on installation for hurricane protection over doors, windows, lanais, whatever the case may be. Today we're going to do two simple applications, a service door and a front door. So come on over and let me show you the fasteners that we'll be using on the substrate that's required today. The substrate on this home is going to be concrete and wood. Wood substrates, we use Tapcons on the top, which is going to be a 1/4-20 Tapcon. It's part of our engineering. We'll also be using 1/4-20 panel mates. A panel mate is nothing more than a male Tapcon. Again, 1/4-20. Wing nets to hold the hoods in place on the screens over the front door. And those are 1/4-20 wing nuts that will screw in place and hold the hood in place and also be part of the fastening schedule of the shutter. And then rubber caps. The rubber caps just make the male studs look a little cleaner, a little bit more of a decorative stud. We also use lead anchors. The lead anchors are 1/4-20 leads. They will be set onto the floor and into the wall, making it a smooth transition coming from the fastener to the floor. Nobody can trip over it. That's where the sidewalk bolt, it's a 1/4-20 1.25-inch sidewalk bolt. All of this is provided with the shutter as we sell it to you in the home, and when we deliver you'll have all of this product as well. Setting tools that are required will be a combo bit, that's for your leads, a combo bit setting tool, a panel mate setting tool, a 3/16 bit, and a 7/32 bit. All of this is provided with the product at the time of delivery, and there will be an explanation on which fasteners we'll use on what substrates, and from that point then you can do your installation very fluently without frustration. I want you to always feel as though you can call me, text me, email me, send me pictures, FaceTime me, and we can walk through any issues that you may be having, but I'm going to make it super simple for you at the home so that it's fluent for you and your installation. Building code requires fastening schedules. This is your fastening schedule that's provided for Cat 5 Hurricane Screen. It's all of the products that are allowed to be used on your home. We'll provide you with the fasteners. As you can see, the schedule will be part of the engineering. It's a PDF that is on my website, cat5hurricanescreens.com. So the tools that will be required will be an impact gun and a hammer drill. The hammer drill also works as a variable drill. You just turn the hammer off, and that allows for the drill to work as a variable drill. If you're going through tile, I don't recommend starting with hammer. I recommend starting with variable. But most homeowners already have these two products. It's real simple. Harbor Freight's a great company to just buy a cheap one. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get the better drills as well. I use something just super simple because I'm not an installation company. I'm a manufacturer. But these will work fine for what we're going to do today. You'll also need a level. Normally a 3-foot level works fine, a hammer, and then all of the bits and all of the setting equipment I provide with you on your do-it-yourselfer kit. So let's get started and install a shutter. Okay guys, before starting, make sure that you take some safety precautions. One, get some safety glasses. Have a partner if you're up on a ladder. This particular installation is going to require a little bit of a ladder. It's not very tall, but we're going to go ahead and set the header first, and then at that point we'll explain what we're doing when we set the top as how easy the bottom is. Cat 5 Hurricane Screen's the only product in the industry of its type that has its own pre-made template or jig. The product has a bar inside the top and the bottom or side to side. That works as the jig, so installation will be simple. You'll see in just a moment. Let's get started. The screen's rolled out at the front door, as you can tell, and what we're going to do is simply set the screen in place just to make sure that we've got a good fit. The homeowners have requested that the shutter go all the way to the top of the header up here, so that it is tucked away and it's nice and clean. They don't have to put it up and take it down. They can simply make it as easy as pie by just unwing nutting and dropping down. I'll show you what I mean. Hey guys, so what we've done at this point is just set the screen over the top of the header all the way up to the ceiling line, because Glenn and his wife wanted to not see the screen but not have to take it down all the time. What we use is a Tapcon at the top on any of the non-black marked areas. The black marked areas are set where the grommet is in the hood that holds the shutter. I'll show you when we finish up the application. It'll all come really clear really quick. What we've done is we've taken our 7/32 bit, our hammer drill, we set our Tapcon. Now what we're going to do is come back and set our Tapcon in the spar across the top. What this allows for is distribution of pressure in a clean, simple application, because the jig or the pattern is already there. So let me get some of these put in, and then I'll show you how to set panel mates. Give me just a minute and you'll have these done. Literally just a minute and they'll be done. Now guys, if you're setting your Tapcons, what you're going to want to use is a 3-inch driver, and then the Tapcons are just a 1/4-20 white Tapcons. Nope, those are panel mates.
Yep, hang on here.
Do we not bring them up?
There they are.
Yep. And again, keeping yourself organized is only going to make it easier. So sorry about that for the delay, but I think you guys will all understand. Okay, Glenn, will you grab this drill for me, buddy? All right. And what we're doing right now is we're setting our jig. So our pattern is already set. It's super simple. Whether you have a cordless gun, an impact gun, this makes it so simple. And you'll see what I mean. Glenn, let me have that level just one more time. Guys, headers more than floor, because the floor will always have right behind your pillar there. Right behind your pillar. Yep. Floors will always have a pitch to them in Florida to keep the water from draining and collecting on the house. But you just want to make sure that you're square, you're level. And what we had Glenn do, you guys, so that everybody knows, is the DLO, the daylight opening. We make sure that we have enough space overlapping. So Glenn did a nice job and measured out the spacing off of the sides so that the screen lays flush and it's clean across the doorway. Tapcons are set now, and what we're going to do is switch the driver over to that little silver mushroom looking driver that's there, Glenn. Okay guys, and what we're going to do is we're going to take and swap out our bits and use a 3/16. It's a panel mate bit. Panel mates are nothing more than a male Tapcon. So let's go ahead and start setting those. Glenn, those are the longer ones that you had. They're all gray. Yep. Now there's two ways of setting this. Glenn, if you'd be so kind as to put that fastener up to the camera. If you notice, there's a collar on that. If you wanted to make this where you could just take it away, you would put the bolt in first and then the screen over it. What I suggest we do is use that collar as part of our fastening. It holds it in place and makes it much more secure. So let's go ahead and start with some of these now. And Glenn, if you will, please hand me the drill and the 7/16 bit again. It's right down beside Anthony there, our super videographer. And now you can see literally the simplicity of the wash, rinse, repeat of this project. The bars give you a preset, predetermined place to put all of the fasteners. There's nothing challenging about this. Most probably the most challenging is if you're working by yourself, is positioning the screen and making sure that your marks are right. So I suggest using a little bit of either a contractor pencil or a chalk line. Set your line and slow down. Set one side, then the other side. Take your time with this. Remember that there's nobody you're impressing. You're doing this application to save a lot of money. So you can see, guys, this only took about 15-20 minutes and the whole top was set. Like I said, it's super simple. With the bars, you're already pre-jigged. Everything's already set. Any of the black dots have got the panel mates. Those are the 3/4 inch studs that are sticking off of the wall. When we roll this screen up, it'll be nice and clean. It will tuck up into a suit, into a hood, just like a sailboat boot. You'll see what I mean in just a few minutes. Let's get the rest of this wrapped up. Within an hour, we've got this entire doorway done. to withstand 188 mile an hour winds. It's large missile impact tested, and it literally saved over $9,000 from replacing a door. That's something to think about in the economy that we have today. Hey guys, okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to go ahead and set the floor. The reason we're setting the floor first as opposed to the side tabs is the floor is set at a small pitch, about a 1-inch pitch actually. So as it folds down, it tightens up and becomes tight like a drum skin. And then we'll set our sides. We use the 3/16 bit to set these, and then we'll come back with a Tapcon to set our 1 jig. Remember that we're setting the bar up for our fastening schedule. It's super simple, it's the easiest way to do it, and it just makes your application painless as can be. So now that we were going to go ahead and get prepared to set our Tapcon into the floor to begin our fastening patterning, just take a moment, measure the bottom to make sure that it's the same as what we were at the top. It's right at 9 inches. And the sides over here, Glenn, we're at 8.
8.5.
8.5. And again, so we want to kick this down just a little bit. And that should put us right on spot with where we need to be. So if you'll step here.
Got it.
Okay, let's make sure that I'm straight over here. And that's all right at 8. So we're good. And the reason that we want to do this, guys, is it's not a structural thing. It's your front door. So aesthetically, if you're walking into someone's home, you want it to look as crisp and as clean as you can. Okay. Now, as you can see, once we've got the Tapcon set, we've got the screen squared on either side, and we pulled it down nice and tight with the center. Now it's okay for us to go ahead and set the bottom. It's the only one Tapcon's required, but the reason that we do that is to keep it all flush and square so that the screen's not getting all turned and making for an awkward or an odd looking fastening schedule of all of the bolts that will be on the floor. As you can see, with the flat bar, it makes it very simple. The homeowner's now taken over the application and installation. He's scoring each one of his marks, and then we'll drill it out for fasteners. You'll see in just a couple of minutes the finished product. We scored the hard tile with a 1/2-inch masonry bit. We've come back now with our combo bit, and the combo bit will be what sets the leads in place. They're real simple to do. Hold on to the audio for a second. To set the leads for the sidewalk bolt, it would look as though the lead would go in like this, but it does not. Flip the barrel of the lead over. Smack it so that the lead mushrooms on the back end of its threads. It's a lead insert with a zinc coated thread bearer. So watch and I'll show you how to install it next. Just take your basic hammer and your lead setting tool. That's a lead setting tool. It's going to drop into the hole. We've already vacuumed out all of the holes because we don't want the dust to be caught into the thread of the sidewalk bolt. Drop the collar in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now your lead's set. Now that we've drilled out all of our sidewalk bolts and the leads are set in place, what we're going to do is we're going to lubricate the ends of our bolts so that there is no lime or any sand or grit caught up in the lead fastener in the hole. Allows the stainless steel sidewalk bolt to move in and out easily. About every 3rd or 4th use of the shutter, I recommend that you come back and lubricate the tip of your bolt. It doesn't take a lot, but in the event that there is a storm, you want this to be fluent. Drop down, come back out, and easily attach so that you're not stressed out. Remember that hurricanes create all kinds of animosity, all kinds of stress, all kinds of angst, and we try to take that out by having a prepared plan and keeping it nice and clean. Grease will always make it easier. Don't over tighten your bolts ever. A lot of folks think that, oh, if they just tighten the tar out of the bolt, it makes for a stronger application. Not true. The fastener is already going to do it. You don't have to go crazy and beat the product, beat the fasteners be the holes that hold the fasteners in place. You can keep it nice and easy. That's what I've always recommended, and that's what I've seen is very successful. Our shutters have been through some incredible storms, 160, 170 mile an hour sustained winds, and have more than supported the houses and keeping the homeowners safe. So just remember, if you ever need me, I'm 352-238-6715. Call me, text me, email me, FaceTime me. I'll help you through the process. I've been doing it for an awful long while, and I'll be happy to help you. So let's go ahead and get this one finished up. We'll finish greasing these bolts in. As soon as they're in place, we're going to drop the screen back in place, put the bolts in the floor with the screen, stretch it out nice and tight, and set the sides. At that point, we'll be able to roll this up and call it a day. I appreciate it. Okay, so what we've done now is we've set a fastener to the inside. It's just one of the sidewalk bolts. You can set them all if you'd like, just to make sure that it stretches out. This is a perfect fit, so it's going to work ideal. What I do at this point is I line my tabs over, give it a little bit of a stretch, and set them up. The reason that we did this to the inside of the opening and closest to the wall was not to bust anyone's knuckles, but it was set purposely so that in the event they had guests over, somebody wouldn't scrape themselves bumping up against it, keeping it as clean as we can. So what we're going to do now is, in setting the sides, we're going to put the panel mates in place. So again, this is the one where we score it with a 7/32 bit, and then come back and drive in the male Tapcon, which is called a panel mate. So we've already pre-drilled out our hole for our male panel mate. Switched over to our impact. We're going to go ahead and set the male panel mate. Take it to the collar that's flush. Your tab goes over. Your wing nut goes in place. And now your 4-point post. There's nothing that's going to pull through that screen and cause havoc. You are hurricane ready at this point. We'll do the same thing up on the top as well. So once the shutter's not being used and it's rolled back up to be put into its storage hood, my recommendation is that we cover the threads with a rubber cap, and that rubber cap will go over the shutter stud, just like so. And there you go, nice and safe. Okay, so just over an hour, and we've got an entire front door entryway, including the window above, covered to 188 mile an hour wind load with a large missile impact. That's a 9-pound 2x4 shot into the opening at 55 feet per second, 35 miles an hour. Take a peek. This is what it looks like down and deployed. So now the hurricane's gone and you're getting ready to put everything back in place. The beauty of the Cat 5 Hurricane screen with a hood is that you can store it up. So all you're going to do is take your bottom bolts out, straight through, take your wing nuts off, which would be on your tabs here on the sides, put your rubber caps back in place, and watch how simple. So what you're going to do now is, once you pull the bolts up out of the floor, is go ahead and start rolling the screen. Try to keep it even, nice and steady, easy motions. If you have tabs, go ahead and roll the tabs on to the inside so that they get tucked away. And this is a one-person simple process. See, the hood now reveals itself. That's the storage container. And Rosalie and I, when we started the company, were figuring out how the heck we could store this stuff and what to do. And this was the solution. So once you get to this point, you come up to your stud and you wing nut it in place. It's UV protected product, UV protected screen. Doing it this way protects the screen that's within the screen, keeps it nice and clean, and it's very, very simple. Literally 3 sidewalk bolts, or 4 wing nuts come off, the screen deploys to the ground, you bolt it in place from the preset bolts, and you're done. Well, now we have a finished product, you do-it-yourselfers. It's been very simple, a little over an hour to get everything rolled back up and put in place. As you can tell, the homeowner wanted theirs stored in what's called a storage hood. If you do not want it stored in a storage hood and you want to make it removable to where you put it in the garage, we built storage bags for it. They slide in place and they're numbered with their NAMI label. We are Florida Building Code approved. We are large missile impact tested, and we have been tested up to 188 mile an hour wind load and again at 155 mile an hour wind load. So we have all of the strength, all of the power to save you as much money as possible. This is what our finished product looks like. Thanks, do-it-yourselfers. See you soon.